In this week's parasha, Parashat Terumah, we begin to speak about the building of the Mishkan, the building of the tabernacle for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'asu li mikdash v'shachanti betocham. Hashem says, build for me a temple. I'm going to come dwell with all of you guys down below. Hashem is desiring a dira b'tachtonim. He wants a dwelling place down below. And now we're going to build that home for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The beautiful temple, the beautiful tabernacle, the Mishkan, with all of the holy kelim. We're going to have ourselves the Aron, the Shulchan, the Menorah, the Mizbeachs. Now there's a beautiful Dvar Torah. I really love to say it over because of the lesson of Chazal, that of the different kelim, of the different main parts of the temple, there are three that have a crown. So our parshiot now are going to go in discussion about that we have to donate and then how to create these things, and ultimately we're going to build these things. But when it comes to the different kelim, the different utensils, so three of them have a crown. And what are the three that have a crown? We have ourselves the Mizbeach. The golden Mizbeach has a golden crown, a zer on top. We have ourselves another crown. We have ourselves a keter, a zer on top of the shulchan, the table, the shulchan where the lechem was, the lechem hapanim. And then we have ourselves a crown on the Aron, in the Holy of Holies, in the Kodesh HaKodashim. We have the Aron, we have the Holy Ark that housed the Luchot, that housed the Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu. That also has a crown. And Chazal tell us why these three crowns. What do these crowns symbolize? So they explain the crown that's on top of the shulchan, that keter, that's the keter of the malchut. That goes to the kingship because the shulchan deals with the food, the sustenance, the economy, taking care of the people. That's the job of the melech. And if we go to the golden Mizbeach, the Mizbeach has a crown. That's the keter of the kehunah. That's for the priests. That's for those that are going to serve, do the avodah in the temple, the tefillot, the avodah, the korbanot. That's the keter for the kehunah. That goes, and he says, and each one has their own family. The malchut goes to the Beit David, and the kehunah goes to the Beit Aharon. And then we come to the Aron, the holiest of the kelim, the one that's in the Holy of Holies, that actually holds the Torah. We said in the past once, for the Shirei Pinchas, Aron, same letters as Or Nun. This is the light of the Shar Nun, the 50th gate, the holy Torah, the Aron. Who gets the keter of the Torah? So Chazal tell us, the keter of the Torah, that's for whoever wants it. It doesn't go based on a particular lineage. If you want the Torah, go and get the Torah. That's the holiest of all the kelim. The crown of the Aron goes to anybody who wants the Torah. Okay, so we have again the three things: the shulchan, symbolizing the malchut. We have ourselves the Mizbeach, symbolizing the Avodah and the temple of the Kohanim, and we have ourselves the Aron, symbolizing the Torah. So I saw an unbelievable idea this year in the Megillah Mukot. It's his last piece on this week's parasha, where he takes these three ideas and he says something a lot deeper. So he says as follows. He says, Midrash, he quotes the Midrash as follows. He says that there are three things that used to be up in the Shamayim that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so to speak, brought it down to us. So he says as follows. HaTorah, says the Midrash, Haita Sheli, Shinemar, Leman Tiyeh Torat Hashem Beficha. The Torah used to be mine, used to be called Torat Hashem. V'natati lachem. And I gave it over to you. You guys now got the Torah, meaning Matan Torah, Parshat Yitro. HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes down, gives the Torah, Lo B'Shamayim. It's not up in the heavens. We got the Torah. And it also says, and we have another pasuk in Devarim that tells us, Hamishpat Hayash, it says the Midrash, Hamishpat Hayasheli. When it came to Mishpat, when it came to doing justice, dealing with the court systems, that was also mine. Shneimar, Ki HaMishpat leElokim, who, as the pasuk says, the Mishpat is the Mishpat is Elokim. It's God's. It's God's Mishpat. But Nataltem Otam, he says, you guys took it as well. We got the Mishpat as well. We're in charge of the court system. There's even an idea that the judges are called Elohim. They have this certain koach. Hashem comes down, helps them, of course, but ultimately they have a certain power. I actually heard a beautiful idea from one of my friends, Yitro, was saying on Parshat Yitro, when Yitro gives the advice to Moshe Rabbeinu, he says, Moshe, you got to go and you need help. You can't be, you're judging the people from day until night. You got to have some help. Like he says, well, what was Moshe thinking? What's Yitro thinking? And Hashem agrees with Yitro. Go and you have to create a whole full court system of different levels of judges. So what's going on over here? Because Moshe Rabbeinu himself was thinking about the Torah up in the Shamayim, but that's not what's going on right now. Now it's down below. We're dealing with the real people and the real problems and the real issues, and we have to deal with it in a worldly place down below. It's now being brought down, and we have to deal with it now the way the world deals with it. I heard another idea my holy nephew, Rabbi Shmuel Barak, he was telling me a beautiful idea also that what was Yitro telling him? That the people are going to need help. We're going to have to work with each other. You can't do things alone. You can't have, Moshe Rabbeinu, it's true, Moshe Rabbeinu really was great. And even at the end of his life, he never got tired. As Yitro thought he would get tired, he never got tired. He had kochot till the very end. But a normal human being, a non-Moshe Rabbeinu, we need help. We can't do things alone. One of the first levels of humility is being taught by Hashem. When even Hashem creates the world, he says, let me speak to the angels. Moshe now also is the biggest anav ever. So even though Moshe maybe even has the koch to do it all, we have to realize that the way the world runs for the non-Moshe Rabbeinus is that we actually can't do it alone. We need each other. And why do we need each other? Because we have this big system we have to run. So says the Megillah Mukot that when it comes to the Mishpat is now ours. We're in charge of the Mishpat with all the responsibility of the Mishpat. So we have ourselves. The Torah came down to us, the Mishpat came down to us, and now we're going to have in our parashat Terumah, now we're going to be doing the avodah down below. We're going to be building a Mishkan, a dwelling place for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're going to see that also kind of corresponds a little bit to the three Ketarim we've been speaking about the Kelim. Because he says as follows. He says, Gimel parshiot, we have ourselves Bezo Achar Zo. We've had the last 3 weeks of parashiot, one after the other. He says we have Parashat Yitro. What happened in Yitro? Nitnu Aseret HaDibrot. We got the Torah, we got the Aseret HaDibrot. That's the Torah coming down to us. In the last week's parasha, we had Mishpatim, where we're having ourselves the concept of doing the actual court system, running the world down below, which I'm assuming over here is connecting to the malchut and the kingship of running a country. The Parashat Terumah, and now we have our Parashat Terumah, and that's going to relate to the Kohanim, the Avodah, the Siman Emet, and the Siman of this is Emet. Emet, as the pasuk says, Emet mi'aretz titzmach. The pasuk in Tehillim says that truth, that Emet is going to come forth from down below. We spoke about deep Torah in the past, that when Hashem took the Torah, lo b'shamayim, He gave it down to us. Originally when He wanted to create the world wasn't going to make it. So Hashem says, because Emet says we're going to sin, so Hashem ultimately throws Emet down to the ground. But we related Emet to the Torah being the Torah Emet, but now the Emet coming down below, it's now our Emet from down below. So the way we understand the Torah, Emet me'eretz titzmach, the Emet that Hashem threw down to the world, it came down, but it came down in the form of the Torah Emet, but now it's the way we understand the Emet. So Emet me'eretz titzmach, Emet comes from down below. Now, what does Emet stand for? So he says the first part of Emet is Parashat Yitro. Yitro, where we got the Aseret HaDibrot, the Yud Dibrot. How do the Aseret HaDibrot work? They start off with the first of the Aseret HaDibrot is Anochi. We know the letter Aleph. I always was so upset. Hashem, why did you create the letter Bet? Create it with Aleph. Hashem says, no, Aleph, you're very, very special. You're very humble. You didn't come to fight for yourself. I am the Midrash over there that Aleph never fought. But Hashem is telling that the letter Aleph, don't worry, I'm going to give you consolation. You're going to be the first of the Aseret HaDibrot. When the Torah comes down below, the first word Anochi starts with an Aleph. Aleph symbolizes the Torah. Aleph connects to HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself, who's the one and only Aleph. So Anochi corresponds to what we learned in Parashat Yitro. Then we have last week's Parashat Mishpatim, where we learn all about the Mishpatim. That's the letter Mem. And he says our Parashat Terumah, we're speaking about the Mishkan. We have ourselves the Taf of Terumah. So Anochi, Mishpatim, and Terumah, the first letters, Rashi Tevot, Aleph, Mem, Taf, Emet. And that's the concept of Emet me'eretz titzmach. Emet is going to come from down below. It's going to sprout forth from down below. Meaning Hashem took from the Shamayim, the Emet, the Anochi Hashem, the Aseret HaDibrot, the Mishpatim of last week's parasha, the court system, and the Terumah, our Mishkan, we're building in our parasha. That's Emet, building a home from God. All this now comes from down below. That's now our Koach. And says the Megillah Mukot, Hen Gimel Amudim, Begimel Ktarim, Keter Torah, Keter Malchut, Melech Mishpat Yamid Aretz. He said these are the three crowns we've been speaking about. And these are the three crowns, the three zerim on the Gimel Kelim. These are the three crowns that are on the Aron, that are on the Shulchan, that are on the Mizbeach, and it all corresponds to what's being given to us. So right now Hashem is saying, make for me a home down below. But we have three parshas in a row, the language of Emet, of Anochi, Mishpatim, and Terumah, because the Torah is now ours to be learning, understanding, and explaining. The Mishpatim, it's our job to be in charge of the court system, judge the people, be like the king who has to take care of the world itself. And we have ourselves the Terumah, we have ourselves the home for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem says, okay, I gave you the Torah, my holy daughter, now make for me a place, take me with you. I want to have my dwelling place down below, my Dira Tachtonim. This week's Parashat Terumah. Shabbat Shalom.